Do you have any favorites? You had to...
Pinot Noir. That's why we live here. So I always tell people when they come to the tasting room that they're all my children, so how can you ask me which one is my favorite? But I came from a family of 5, and we know that my mom likes me best. I like the Pinot Noir.
Pinot Noir is an interesting grape because you can grow Pinot in a whole lot of places. You can ripen it easily in a lot of places. You can't make great Pinot Noir wine in very many places in the world.
And I think that it is this authenticity, this perception of authenticity that Pinot Noir doesn't like manipulation. It is what a friend of mine likes to call a lie detector. It is very hard to do something to Pinot Noir and hide it because it is so exquisitely transparent. And that's why it's a vector for the soil, it's a vector for how it's farmed, and it's a vector for how it's made.
It was because I love Pinot Noir. And if prior to going to Burgundy and living there, I drank a lot more Cabs and a lot more Bordeaux's than red Burgundy and Pinots. But it was, again, a kind of a combination of, first of all, living and breathing in Burgundy and getting that sense of place and everything else that I loved about Pinot Noir. But it was also the fact that Pinot, more than grapes that I'd experienced in the past, really reflected that sense of place and the vineyard and the weather and how it could vary so much just over a short space, and that it was all about the farming as opposed to the winemaking that really gave it its essence.
Wine truly is made in the vineyard, especially Pinot Noir. This is what we grow in the Willamette Valley of Oregon, is Pinot Noir. It's the poet's grape. It's a fraction of the world market, but everybody contends it's the best one, and if you can, you'll try. The Heartbreak grape. And one of the reasons for that is it's most expressive of terroir. And so a Pinot Noir is more made in the vineyard than any other grape variety for that reason, because it expresses that sense of place.
In my heart and soul, I knew that those weren't the wines I really wanted to make. I wanted to make true, cool climate Pinot. And as we just didn't have access to those sources in California, and I thought our best shot to do it would be here in Oregon. We share virtually an identical climate with Burgundy. The soils are entirely different, but to make the wines that I really believed in, I believe Pinot Noir should be a wine of elegance and finesse and grace, rather than a wine of power and extraction. I think at its best it's a wine of subtlety and nuance, and I felt that we had to be here sort of on the fringe of being able to ripen Pinot Noir grapes to make that happen.
A Pinot Noir is what we do best here. I don't see any reason to stray from that, for the long term. The Pinot Noir is really, yes, we can do some other wines well, but other places can do those wines very well too. And Pinot Noir is what we can do as good as anybody in the world, if not better.
Pinot Noir is an expensive grape to make because it always has to be low yielding. You have to do a fair amount of vineyard work to get the right amount of fruit exposure. It's a difficult grape to make. And they think that for that amount of work that you have to do and that low a yield on crop, you should be well compensated. I'm not sure what the cutoff line is, but it's expensive.
With Pinot Noir, because it grows in the cooler climate of the Willamette Valley here, every year is going to be a bit different. In my 13 years, we've not had two that are even close to being the same. And so it is the most finicky of all grapes. But I think it's one of the best food wines around. And because it goes with so many of today's foods. And when you get Pinot right, there's just nothing like it. It is so fanciful. that it's got so many nuances to it. And so we're always going for the best bottle of Pinot we could ever make, and I don't think you ever get there. I think that's the grand thing about Pinot Noir. It's just an endless journey.